I just feel like there's
it's a lot more tactical with the explosiveness and all. In you're spending time in neutral because when you're down, everything slows down.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people don't want to watch a jiu-jitsu match, which is if it's like a chess match if you understand it and it's fun to watch. You know, kind of like a soccer game, 1-1 or 1-0.
Right.
No one wants to watch it, but once you get into it, you understand what they're really doing. It's amazing. It's just like a good jiu-jitsu. Two guys rolling, nothing's happening, but they're high-level guys going from one thing to the next. It's a big, sophisticated thing going on. And when you hit the ground game in Folkstyle, everything slows down. And that's why you probably don't think there's a lot of brain going on there because you got to hold the guy down. The guy's trying to burst and get up. And
Just comparing it to freestyle, right? It's like, it's not that there's not, but there's a lot more that goes into, like, you know, you're not going out of bounds and just all the different things in freestyle.
Yeah, learning how you can't run away,
and it's
but
so
you have to learn
fast.
how to hold position and learning your tactics of circling or controlling a position or holding the mat and making it look like you're doing something for the referee in order to get the guy on the shot clock and, you know, taking your 1 point when you need it instead of maybe 2 or, you know, learning how to finish toward the end, like learning to do things in order to, you know, get rewarded points or, you know, and beat your opponent that way.
Yeah, I watched the finals with my daughter, the World Championship finals with you. And just talking about that, like it's close match, right?
Yeah.
And you just the little subtlety of like not running out of bounds, so you don't show the ref that you're running whatever or not you're running out. But just
he was trying to do anything to make sure to win. Especially, I don't know if you see Higuchi's Olympic match against. I was talking to you about it yesterday against Georgian Kinchigashvili from Rio.
Right.
It was like I think you could just see in his eyes like I needed to do anything to get this because he literally lost off of. Remember, he got robbed. They were the guy was holding his hand, and it was lost by a point. And it was like he was just trying to do anything he could to just get that. But he played it smart, you know. He played it smart. He did it what you need to do within the rules to win. And I mean, I think that's kind of like what. And overall, I think there's a little bit more that in folk style sometimes you don't. I don't know. There is strategy in it, but I think I just can see the a little bit more of an elite mindset that's being played into it that you have to do with the stakes on the line and. You know,
for freestyle.
For freestyle, yeah. Maybe
like Dan Gable's talking about it on the Lex Friedman podcast.
What was he saying? I don't.
It's the art and science, like putting more art. Hit the science and the art of wrestling.
Yeah.
And
you know, and talking about the Russians and talking about the you know.
You should have him on this show sometime.
I mean,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I was obsessed with him when I was young, when I was starting in jiu-jitsu. I read all his books, like Season on them, just any book that was out there, and it's just his mindset, and it's kind of funny how things happen and it goes full circle with just recovery base and the Russians and just that type of training compared to, and you're saying that the Gable style is not what Dan Gable does.
Well, I mean, they took a piece of what he did really great, which is amazing.
And they blew that up, and they said the important stuff.
This is like, you know, you make a cake. There's a lot of things that go in the ingredients, and they just took one ingredient and they used it. And Dan had a bunch of stuff going on.
Man, you know, like, you know, reading all his books, people saying, you know, Dan Gable style. And then looking at that podcast, you know, it was a long podcast, right? And him talking how it is, and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, what? Dan Gable style isn't what Gable.
That's what we're trying to say, you know. And we've always said it, even before he talked about it. Is like, we know. I mean, this isn't all there is to it. There's more to it, and if you want to, and you got to continue to keep evolving.
You're right.
You know.
Going back to the World Championship, and you know, your son saying, "Dad, you got to help me. You got to help me."
Yeah.